There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Belly of Tea. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, oh blow me bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low.
Too, and yet
all right,
he still has
with
to do
that
it.
being said, welcome everyone to the much anticipated on time and a little bit of tech issues. So I went through a rebranding recently because, well, of reasons. And so welcome to Dare Wolf Den Gaming Twitch. That is the new official name of both the server, myself, Dare Wolf Den Gaming. That is what we're going with. And welcome to episode 17, session 17 of our Skull and Shackles adventure, which has gone completely off of their fevered sea, and things are going to get a little crazy. And our crew is about to drastically change the direction of this campaign and what has been planned and set up as far as this goes. But with that being said, we're just gonna go around the table. We're gonna have everyone introduce themselves and tell us who they are and who they're playing, and then we're gonna have a delightful recap from none other than Edward. Because Zeb, I'm putting you on the spot. You have a beautiful voice. I'd like to hear it, and that's what we're gonna do. So take it away. We're gonna go Atomic Blouse, Zeb, Patrick, then myself, and then we'll pivot back to Zeb for that recap of last session. Take it away.
Hey everybody, I'm Atomic. I'm playing our Tiefling Druid Harlan Blackmane. And I apologize in advance for the sniffles because my sinuses are attacking me.
Howdy, everybody. I'm playing Caius the Kinless, our Asmodane Anti-Paladin.
What's going on, guys? I'm Zeb. I'm going to be playing our human fighter, Edward Tarbos.
Hello, I'm Patrick. I play Wakir Thrice Drowned, our evangelist of Besmara.
And of course, I am Darewolf here for Darewolf Den Gaming, and as always, very happy to be here. Very happy to be playing with these fine gentlemen. So, Zeb, Edward, without further ado, take it away. Recap last session for us, and let's take it away.
So last session it was Mancatcher Cove, right?
You got it,
the name of the place we're at.
That is true.
So we were finishing up Mancatcher Cove, killing all the Shogun that exist in the Shackles. Just killing the entire kingdom. Any royal family are floating. Like a weird crab thing ate them that we met along the way
You
because we
ended
made a buddy.
the royal line of Shogun.
Yeah, 100%.
You're monsters.
Because Conchibar's a fuck and I hate him.
Conchibar.
But when we got done killing the so-called royal family, we got a lot of loot. Like a lot of loot.
A lot of loot.
To
Meant your crap ton of loot, some might
yeah,
say.
to help pay for further shenanigans that are going to be coming. So people got fucked up. I got fucked up a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Then I got fucked up some more, like a lot.
Uh-huh.
And then we won.
And then we won. And that was that. That's where we're at. I like it. So we are going to open our scene just kind of northeast of where our adventurers, our pirate crew had dealt with the Shogun menace of Mancatcher Cove. Mancatcher Cove. So they were here. Then they sailed a little bit northeast, sailed past the Queen's processional, sailed up past Eliduran Harbor, pivoted up and around and into the quiet natural cove area that is Quent. Little bit about Quent. A little bit about Quent in this moment that I'd like to fill everyone in on. It is the second busiest harbor in the archipelago after Port Peril. The what is it? What would you say? The ruckus, raucous, the rowdy, the
Rockets?
rowdy Quent lies in the picturesque bay that bears the same name. Sheltered from surf and storm by large barrier islands, Quent is called the finest deepwater port in the Shackles by many sailors that either live or visit there. The charismatic, yet sometimes not predictable, I would say, very unpredictable, Tessa Fairwind is lord of the part and a major voice on the pirate council in Port Peril. But this is where the crew of the Dominator, mainly the captain and his other officers, have decided to settle down for a little bit, gather their resources, put together the most delightful kitty cat plan to take the scourge of the fevered sea, truly the scourge of the entire Shackles itself, take the Dominator for themselves as a prize. I'd like to begin here with Caius. Caius, we're going to begin inside of your captain's quarters, aboard the Devil's Deed. You had a plan to send a certain tiny little devil, not a demon.
Less tiny now.
Yes, less tiny, a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger than she was before. But Nisara is looking somewhat uncomfortable. She has grown in size. She is now the size of a halfling at this point. And she seems very out of place. Almost like she's kind of out of her own skin, is the best way I can describe that. But as she is kind of fidgeting, sitting on the edge of the bed, fidgeting a little bit, looking uncomfortable, and kind of like looking at her hands that are now bigger, and then looks back. Sorry, Master Caius, I wasn't quite paying attention. What is it that you wanted me to do?
I want you to go to Agorian, West Crown, and Corrington and deliver these letters to the highest ranking Asmodean you can get your hands on. And, he'll produce 3 copies of sealed letters.
She fidgets again, kind of scratching at her arms. They're longer, and she just seems like gangly and awkward as she moves around. She stands up. Usually she flew everywhere. She actually stands up and strides over to you, very gingerly, taking each of the letters. 1, 2, and then her tail flips around and grabs the 3rd. She takes them and sort of looks at them and looks at herself and...
The outside of each letter has a not like a seal, like a tassel that has a small code written on it.
Mm-hmm.
And during his time here, he would have been researching with his little library to get essentially the highest ranking clearance code if you will, that he could get his hands on.
Mm-hmm.
To send it to hopefully like a city's high priest or a bishop or something of a region. Hopefully, so one of them would get their hands on it.
As we see that symbol, we see Nisara kind of awkwardly holding the 3 letters, thinking about where she's going to place them. The chest just to her right shakes, moving slightly. That is the same chest where you placed the amulet that you found. She looks at that amulet, and there is a moment, Caius, where it almost seems like she is communicating telepathically with what's inside. It is a split second, but she quickly shakes her head and looks back to you, Captain Caius. The sooner we are rid of that thing, the better, Captain Caius.
Absolutely. I'm going to look into getting a lead line to box for it as well.
I think that would be wise, if it is all right for me to say so, sir.
Of course.
Nasara has seemed less sporadic since her transformation into a larger,
And more, yeah.
larger herself. She takes the letters. She has got like almost like a fanny pack kind of thing. She tucks them into. There is a carefulness to the way she does it. There is a respect that, knowing her as you have over the last several months, seems out of character. But over the last week or so that you traveled after she made this transformation, pretty much right after you left Catcher Cove, it's starting to seem more commonplace for her. She tucks them away, looks to you. Is there anyone else? Anything else which I should contact while I'm away? Guys.
No, I think I've abandoned the plan for the naval bookkeeping if we're going to be taking the Dominator itself.
Odds. Don't do anything stupid while I'm away. And there's a little bit of a playfulness as she says that reminds you of how she acted prior.
Given my line of work, that might be difficult, but I'll see what I can do.
There is a genuine smile, quickly crosses her face and disappears. She vanishes before your eyes, disappearing using her natural invisibility. You hear one of the rear windows open. You can just faintly hear the sound of flapping wings, and she's gone. A moment later, Captain Caius, there's a knock at the door to your quarters.
Enter.
Enter Elliot. Captain, I hope that I am not disturbing you in this moment, but I wish to speak with you about this plan of yours to take the Dominator.
Finally breaking your silence.
I hope you do not take my silence as a lack of bravery, Captain. It is simply that I wish to be more informed of our plan, seeing as I am more than likely to play an important role in the taking of this ship. And if I fail in that role, well, more will die than are necessary.
Nothing undue is going to be shared with any of the crew until we set sail for our final destination. Until we leave port and we can be assured that there's no one that will know of our plan until it's too late. Only officers until then.
Am I not an officer, Captain?
You're a senior crewman.
He nods, fidgets for a moment. He has a silver coin that he flips between his fingers back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of a nervous little tick that he has. I understand your position, Captain, and respect your authority. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me and explain the situation to the best of your abilities. He turns.
And he, kind of carefully says, "Of course."
Turns and exits your quarters. Exits your quarters back onto the deck of the Dominator. Not the Dominator, not yet. Devil's Deed. We're going to pivot over, down, kind of across the deck. And we see a number of the crew busying themselves. We see Elliot walking across. We see Sandra is actually sitting on the stairs with Owlbear. They have actually a book, and he has a little journal in his hands, and he's got a little quill, a little ink, and Sandra is attempting to teach Owlbear Hawthorne how to read and how to write, and it's actually going pretty well. And instead of just grunting and growling, he's actually starting to form words. And as our camera kind of pans over, we see him saying, "Sheep, ship." Sandra leans in. "Yes, Albert, that is correct. That spells ship. Exactly what we're on." And he smiles and nods his head, and then writes ship again on his little journal. And we pivot into the forward cabin of the ship, with a large cot hung red, and we see, I guess I would say, cuddling, perhaps, lying next to each other, aggressively, because Gibbs don't do no cuddling, but they are lying together. It's like one of those scenes in a movie where like the sheets are pulled up and over. You know what just happened, but we faded away from the black, as it were. But we see the two of them there, and Griffer is like just staring one-eyed up at the ceiling, and no one has said anything for several minutes post coitus. So take it away, Edward.
So, how long are you, lass?
She does that thing she does sometimes where she only has the one good eye. She looks over at you with the one good eye, then looks back at the ceiling. A month, maybe 2.
All right. Well, I'm terrified. I'm gonna make a suggestion, and you have to promise that you're not gonna hit me in the face.
You see her take one of her left hand out from under the sheet and coil it into a fist and just rest it at her side.
You're gonna hit me in the fucking face. Fuck. All right. You're your own free woman. Can't make you do anything you don't want to do. I want you to know, if you want to sail with us on this Dominator thing, I'm not going to stop you. But I do want you safe. I've talked with the captain. He said Tidewater Rock to run it. At least run the cruise there. Meantime, if you would take it. But like I said, you're your own free woman. Make you do anything you don't want to. Couldn't from the start. Gonna do it now.
Griffer's fist, you can see
Edward is just kind of...
she's clenching it so tightly that you can see the whites on her knuckle. See that she's clenching it so tightly that you actually see a small trickle of blood start to stain the sheet and turn it just like a dark sort of crimson brownish color. She releases, though, all at once, and her voice softens slightly. Edward, I think you are making the wrong suggestions. A pirate ship, a pirate's life. It is no place for a child. But even so, I think this is a gift from Besmara. And a gift from the goddess of the oceans. Should not be taken lightly. I don't want you to sail alone, Edward. But I also understand that the taking of the Dominator. She turns and she looks at you. And whether or not Edward turns to look at her is up to you, but she does that thing where she like turns on her side and looks at you. And there is a tenderness that you have not experienced very much with her, but there's a tenderness in this moment. If the captain will grant me Tidewater Rock, I will take it. But you must promise me one thing, Edward.
Okay.
Don't do something stupid like die.
Make that promise to you.
And she leans in.
Besides,
Go ahead, please.
dying's the greatest adventure there is. And with you at Tidewater Rock, we're not going to have a full crew, and if dying is greatest adventure, I'd rather face it with a full crew. Now, to save both of our reputations just a little bit, we go tell the captain this. And you're probably going to have to hit me in the face, so it looks like can't let everybody know you're a big old softy, Griff.
Same fist that she had
Just
unclenched, reclenches.
Just not the left side. Hit me on the right.
She leans in,
Even it out.
gives you a kiss, and then socks you so hard that I need you to give me a fortitude save.
Oh, thank
Oh,
God!
man.
I
You're
still have all my
conscious.
teeth. I
You're
still have all
conscious.
my teeth.
That is
Oh, my
awesome.
God.
You still have your teeth, and you're conscious. And
You're out of luck for the session.
she rolls
Yep,
her.
I'm
She
done.
kind of shakes her hand as she does so, and looks over at you, and goes to do it again.
Hey,
Then-
hey, hey, I said one. I said one. Fuck me.
It gives you just a little punch in the arm, as it were.
Oh,
And we're gonna pivot over. We're actually gonna pivot down to the galley, where Conchabar and Fishguts are discussing what kind of food they want to pick up while they're in Quent. And I'd like a certain Wakir, thrice drowned, to enter into the conversation. Perhaps you were hungry. Perhaps you were coming for a drink. But we see as we pivot the camera, there are a bunch of the crew are discussing, what's to come and what they're doing and all the different plunder they've got, what they're going to be buying. And then we see Wakir, thrice drowned, enter in. And Conchabar is mid-conversation.
I was actually thinking that we could get some sort of different types of meat. I understand that we do live and work on the oceans, the sea as it were, but fish is getting a bit old, and I have a personal disposition not to eat fish. It is what it is in this moment, but Wakir, please, he probably agrees. Wakir, what are your thoughts on getting some beef, or maybe some a sheep, or different some sort of land animal that we could keep on board for a time and have some fresh cuts of steak now and again, rather than fish every day, just fish.
I figured you liked fish.
I do, just
You loved fish.
in different ways.
You loved fish so much
I-
that we had to kill the entire Sagan colony
I-
because they were after you
No,
for eating fish.
that is vulgar, and
So
I
you love
will not. I will not. I will not stand for this. Walk here. You may be one of the officers of this vessel, but I am a well-respected member of the good, nice-looking hat society, and we will.
Did you want to say well respected?
You know what? Fuck you. There. I said it.
All right.
You're a bastard. And
I'm Tri-Stround.
your head is shiny. It
As-
looks stupid. You should get a hat.
As far as other cuts of meat, yes, unfortunately though it'll have to be salted
That's
or
fine.
heavily spiced
It's completely understandable. Fish
keep
guts
it- to
is
keep it fresh.
Rolling, just rolling in the corner with all of the comics. Walk here twice round. You are hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. Oh, man. If I'd known you prior to becoming an alcoholic, then sobering up again, I never would have become an alcoholic in the first place. You're better than the best drink I've ever had. Ha, 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 ha. Knee slapping. Just knee slapping.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you too, and back to a semblance of your old self.
He nods. Thanks in no small part to you, the captain, and the rest of the crew. Just thank you. Truly.
You did it. You did it yourself. We just gave you the impetus.
It was a group effort, like old things on a pirate ship. Conchabar
Well,
is beat red. He just, "Nyeh."
You two lovebirds enjoy your afternoon. I have things to do.
And he's going to storm off, muttering to himself about stupid bald-headed fucks. What he's going to say, as it were. But fish guts.
Watch out for the fish.
Yeah.
Don't fall in the barrel.
Fuck
So to
you,
speak.
you bald-headed piece of crap. Your head is shiny. The only thing on you that shines. And your stories suck.
Fish guts.
Now I know he's wrong.
Still laughing, steps forward. Look here, if I might pick your brain a bit.
Don't pick too hard and too deep.
I've been thinking about this attack Captain is planning.
What attack that you know of?
It's a small ship, look here. Word travels fast.
And you should keep it to yourself.
That's why I bring it to you, look here, Thrice-Drowned. That's why I bring it to you. I want to be on the boarding party.
What is your capabilities beyond cooking? And I know you can chop things in fairly well with a knife. What else can you bring to the table?
He picks up the butcher's knife, lifts it high above his head, swipes it down, and takes off a corner of an 1.5 inch thick piece of wood with one swipe. Chopping. Chopping is what I'm good at. And here's the thing, Wakir. We either all do this together, or none of us survive. And I won't sit idly by, locked away in the galley, while the rest of this crew that I've come to care about put their lives on the line for the greatest prize we may ever see in our lifetimes.
You know you're not locked away in the galley. You're down here to help the doctor and mates treat any wounded. But I would like to see you go one-on-one against the mate, Edward, in not a duel, but more of a sparring match. See how you do. Convinces Edward, and I'll put in a good word.
He nods. Very well.
Because training will be, you've been rusty. Let's get you sharpened.
I like that.
As sharp as your butcher's knife there.
I like that. I like that a lot. We're going to pivot back up through the grating of the Devil's Deed, up to the Crow's Nest, where flying, and now large size, is a really big bird that everyone would recognize as Blackbeak. And she's kind of sailing next to the ship like a mascot. Like a big, angry, talon, sharp-beaked mascot that can also kill people. And now carry away medium-sized humans. But we've got the druid himself, Harlan, and Arietta Banson, up in the crow's nest. She's kind of like leaning, like grabbing onto the rim of the crow's nest, kind of leaning over and just taking in the day air, just enjoying it. Black hair flowing behind her, and she's just, she's got a lookout, but it's really, there's not really much going on. You've crossed through those islands that sort of make this cove around Quent. You can actually see in the distance the city itself. There's a number of ships up in front, so it's not really anywhere dangerous at this point. But she's just enjoying the day's air, and she looks over to you, Harlan. And as she does, she motions down towards Elliot, who is milling just under the sail and has this discontented and disquieted stance about him. His face, he's kind of got a furrowed brow, and he just looks disquieted. He looks uncomfortable in this moment. And she looks over to you again, Harlan, and she says, That one does not have the sea legs that I would expect from a pirate. What do you think, Blackmane?
I think that we'll just have to see how he does. He's been around for what, one engagement, perhaps? So, I think like anybody else, I'll give him his shot, and if he's no good, then either he'll be dead or we'll get rid of him.
I don't question his ability to shoot. Whatever that giant creature was up in the canopy, he struck it, really without batting an eye. I only mean that I don't think he has the guts for a real fight. But I've always thought that about anyone that wields ranged weapons, as it were. And she smirks at you as she says that.
Well, I have plenty of guts. Blackbeak brings them back every time he kills something. It's really
Squawk!
kind of an issue. Yes.
The most America eagle screech that you can imagine in your mind's eye, just like a kind of thing.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. That bastard's big enough now. I think I can ride it.
And she like looks at you, looks over at Blackbeak, who's doing that things birds do, where they just kind of hover in the air. They're soaring, a little flapping here and there. And she looks back at you, and then back at Blackbeak. 5 silver says you'll fall off during the first attempt.
I'll take that bet. You'll probably win, but it'll be a hell of a funny time, now, won't it?
And I'd like to have a montage of you crawling out, calling Blackbeak, and attempting a ride check not to fall off the bird.
All right.
And I'm going to give you some minuses because it's your first try.
Okay.
You're looking for a DC 15. You got a
DC
minus
15?
5 on this because it's your first try.
All right, minus 5. I'll take that bet. 32. How's that do you?
Oh! I'll probably fall off. Okay. All right. And Harlan, with a skill like of the likes of which you've never seen ever, Arietta watches from the crow's nest, watches you walk out onto the sail there, all right? Jump onto the back of Blackbeak, and like a scene from Harry Potter riding the griffin, you take off. And it's like never-ending story style. Yeah! Just
yes!
Yeah! And she's just watching you like do like somersaults in the air. And we see her mouth, that son of a bitch. As you swirl around. And that's beautiful. So we're going to cut to several hours later. The Devil's Deed has arrived in Quent, has docked, paid the fee for dockage, and I'm going to open it up to the crew themselves. Here are officers. What's the plan? Now, Edward, you had mentioned you wanted to go talk to the captain. So I think it would be a good moment where you patch yourself up. Maybe got like a cold towel. Got a nice little shiner now. And perhaps you're all getting ready to depart from the ship. A bunch of the crew's getting their plunder, getting ready to go spread the story that is the Devil's Deed and their just destruction of the evil Shogwen of Mancatcher Cove. Edward, see Caius. Caius is probably overseeing everyone on the deck, as the captain does. You may approach him and bring to his attention what you'd like to bring.
Lord Captain.
Come on up.
I had a word with our delicate little griff.
The illustrious lady speaks.
Big black
Aye.
eye. Big.
Yeah, just Aye. She said she would she'd be willing to run Tidewater Rock for us.
That's good to hear. With how the guard was looking and with them losing their captain, whatever he was worth, they need
Aye.
someone there to kick ass.
Aye. She certainly does that. Has that in spades. So, what's the game plan?
Spend a whole hell of a lot of money.
Aye. We're gonna need a lot of new blood.
Yeah, we'll need to split up for that. The city's big enough.
I was gonna say, you want me to take Grok, and she's wanting my position for when we take the Dominator. So, want me to take her with me and
Let's
see
set
who we
up
can
at,
round up?
let's all set up at different bars with a recruiting table.
Fair enough.
Like a career day.
Absolutely. 10 gold sign-on bonuses. We're gonna go get killed.
So,
I
that's the game
I
plan
just
for that.
imagine in my head like a giant hall, and you guys got a little table. It's got like a little like
Yes.
poster
The
board
car-
out front,
the
like
cardboard pamphlet.
a little
back
like
There's-
cardboard. Yeah,
There's the Peg Leg Carvers Guild over there. There's the Hook Hand Forgers that way.
the Devil's Deed crew in the middle.
Oh, that is a vision in my mind that I never want to
Oh,
give up
gosh.
ever. That is beautiful. That is absolutely friggin'
Lovely.
beautiful.
It'll be
Did
like
they-
Blazing Saddles.
I was gonna say, didn't they do that in Black Sails too? Have a table.
Oh man,
Did they?
What
That's
is your
perfect.
qualifications?
yeah.
Yep. A recruiting
Murder,
station.
rape, pillage. Okay.
All right.
Here's your badge.
Here's your badge. Wow, that is fantastic. All right, cool, perfect. So that is beautiful, and it's a thing that now exists. But please continue, gentlemen. I interrupted. Forgive me.
All right. So that's the game plan for getting some blood. You were talking about possibly getting a bunch of potions made up and some other nefarious things.
Oh, I have a list.
Sure, we'll
20
find it
invisibility
here.
potions, 25 protection from law. Oh, yes.
Went's a place full of cutthroats and bastards, so shouldn't be too hard to find that.
Still haven't been here before, but looks big enough to have everything we need. If not, it'll get made.
Never spent too much time in Quent, but it should be hard to wrestle us up a couple of idiots that want to go get themselves killed.
Try to pick up some family pirates as well, pirates who have settled down. I think they might make good options for Tidewater.
Right. Pass that along as well.
Their families can go with them.
All right. So you're wanting to split that up. How are you wanting to do your little shopping spree here as well? Take a couple days here, get some men, do some shopping. What are you thinking?
Take a couple of weeks.
Alrighty.
Nasara and Conchabar need some crafting time. And this might be the last free time we have.
Speaking of the little possum, what is the plan with the whole captive we have. I don't know if that's the correct term. Your new little necklace that you have.
Oh, captive. I'm afraid I don't think we have that much control over as we thought. Though, hopefully, a lead line box will do the trick.
Okay.
That's something to add to the shopping list. If you see something small, grab it.
Will do. All right. Well, I got my orders. I'll gather the lads and lasses. We'll get to it.
Well, let's go get the others and see where we want to canvas first and see who all wants to pick what up. So, Caius will, walk down the deck, picking up Wakir and a Harlan, wherever they might be on the ship. Turn back and look at them. Got a whole lot of recruiting to do and a whole lot of buying to do. Does anyone want any particular first dibs on what they're going to take cracks at?
I can work on getting us some men hired.
Yeah, let's get the crew first.
Worry about
Let's
getting
recruit
some new
situated
blood
first.
and them settled in will be, I think, the easier of the list.
We didn't decide on what we're going to tell them as well. We're packing 50 extra men onto this ship. I think we say we're going after a big prize. We're going to know where it's going to be. And it's not going to be too long aboard the ship. 10 gold for hardship for signing on. Then a cut of the prize. Obviously.
That could work. A lot of thirsty people in these bars.
And we won't leave anywhere where they can't get home. Or we won't leave anyone where they can't get home from. If the prize doesn't work out, they'll be 10 gold richer.
Vague enough that they won't have any idea, but sounds good enough that something they could sink their teeth into. Good work. What about your gun hand here? I know we talked about possibly getting some stuff for your big old ballista up front, in case we have to assault that way.
I actually wanted to talk to Wakir about that just now. Elliot's looking listless. You could figure out what's wrong with him. I don't want that kind of mood infecting the rest of the crew if it is just a mood, and I don't want it scuttling the plan if it's more than that.
Let me at him.
If you need anything, let me know.
Right.
Oh, that'll be one of the things I do.
All right. Harlan?
Anything else?
I mean, recruiting men is all well and good. I have something I would like to take care of personally first, but after that, I'm down for all the recruiting in the world.
I might send you off with a shopping list, given your spectacular skill with people.
But if you're trying to negotiate, then perhaps not. But if you're just paying hard coin and getting it done as quickly as possible, then
Yes, I don't
Fair
think we
enough.
exactly have time to be haggling.
well,
No,
we've
we're
got
not haggling.
we've got a few weeks here, right? So we're taking get everything we need.
But also, right now, best not to rustle any feathers and have anybody ask any questions.
Also a good point.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Caius will, quickly write out a shopping list, and
I would also
Can't-
like to make a point for everybody here.
right?
We are all wanted men. This is one of the bigger cities we've ever been in, so keep your heads down best you can. Try to pay attention to any shifty bastards might be trying to muscle
I didn't
in.
see the wormwood on approach, but that's not to say he's not tucked around somewhere on one of these docks.
You're telling someone to look out for all the shifty bastards in Quint, then we're all going to be doing nothing but spinning around in circles.
Well, let me rephrase that, and any of the shifty bastards that's suddenly taken a very large interest in any of the crew or any of the officers or asking questions about the ship that's the Devil's Deed. Just keep an eye out. I'll pass that along.
Fair enough.
So as the crew of the Devil's Deed departs the ship, heads into the city, city itself is a bustling metropolis, basically. I mean, it is not quite as insanely large as Port Peril, but you see all manners of creatures. You see kobolds, you see halflings, you see humans, you see half-orcs, you see orcs, you see all manner of humanoids, extraplaners. It is just a sprawling cacophony of different cultures, people. But at its heart, it is still a pirate city. It's still a pirate city. And there are fights that break out. They're quickly broken up. You are all able to travel out, begin your shopping, begin setting up, and start recruiting men. But we're actually going to follow behind Edward. We're going to follow behind Edward as you are making your way through the city streets. Give me a perception check, Edward.
Had to open my mouth.
Okay.
Oh, it's 24.
You notice, and it is you and Griffer, the half-orc quartermaster. It's you and Griffer making your way through...
Grok.
What's that? That's what I said. Grok. Cutthroat Grok. That's what I said. Not Griffer. Cutthroat Grok. That's what I said. Don't question me. You don't know anything. All right. But you and Cutthroat Grok. And she's been eyeballing different pirates, and you hear, that one too drunk. That one not drunk enough. That one just right. And she's been eyeballing and like offering positions, you know, like, want to make some quick coin? And the pirate's like, oh, I would love to make some quick coin. And she's like, explains the situation. And she's explaining it to a just drunk enough type. You see a perhaps somewhat familiar looking face. It is a man. He is wearing kind of a dark jacket, a vest, and he's kind of down the street. Imagine there's some buildings, there's a little alleyway. You look at my thing behind me, imagine you guys are standing like right there by like the edge of the dock, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a kitty over there. She wants to be pet. And then he's like back over here, kind of staring at you, right? But you're like seaside, you're like dockside, right? But as he is staring at you, you actually recognize this man. You do. It takes you a moment, but you recognize him. This is Kipper. He was one of Captain Harrigan's officers that left with him on the Wormwood and departed from you and the rest of the crew that took the man's promise. And he's looking at your direction, but with that perception check, it doesn't seem like he has noticed you or recognized you yet. He's just kind of staring and eating an apple. He's got an apple and you just see him take a bite. He's just looking kind of lazily, looking left and right. It almost seems like he's just kind of chilling there in this moment. What do you do?
I'm gonna turn back and so I'm not facing him, because I'm assuming, and just kind of do it in a manner that Grok would kind of see. It's a little stiff and kind of turn, and would just kind of like, while like looking like I'm making conversation, just be like, Kipper's behind us. I think he's noticed
Grok
us.
is right in the middle of getting this guy on board, and she's like, "Oi, and the most plunder and booty you've ever seen in your entire what? Who? Oh, fuck! Got to get off the street. He may not
Right.
recognize you, but he'll recognize me."
Hi. Put your hood up.
Gee.
And one of the big drunken guys, I'm trying to look for like bigger drunk guys that are just kind of.
There is a what appears to be a half ogre individual who has a keg, like a literal keg. Also, Patrick's wife is now Patrick, which is awesome. We've got
Welcome.
a massive welcome, but we've got a massive keg, and he is drinking from it. He's probably like just one step under large size, but he's a big guy. And you're yo, oh, fiddly dee, yo, you're tiny.
And from on the other side of the street, are there any like dock officials, anything?
You know what? There is a police force that works in Quint. I use the term police force loosely. It is a group of Tessa Fairwind authorized agents that keep the peace. They don't let things get too rowdy in Quint. They don't let things get too rowdy in the city.
Edward is just gonna kind of be just kind of morning. How's it going? Hi, excuse me, and walk up to
Pirate.
him and just kind of
Pirate. Yarhar.
from inside of his coat, I'd like to pull out like a bag of of what he would have like as spending money. Like,
Okay.
say
1,000 gold.
it's it's a decent amount of gold,
All right.
and kind of set it in one of kind of subtly kind of just drop it, throw it off to the side, like into one of the empty kegs that he has,
Oh.
and just be like, "Look, you keep all of that. I need a distraction." Pirate.
This is the half ogre guy.
Yep.
He like looks down at the jingling. He hears it and his like ears perk and he looks down at it. Then he like reaches over and picks it up, pops in his hand. Does that thing if you've ever done it with a dice bag where you like open it up? Does like one of those.
Mhm.
Looks at it, looks at you, looks back at it, and he was drunk singing. This guy sobers up faster than should be humanly possible. He straps it to his belt, stands up some 8 feet tall, looks at you, and in perfect common says, "And who needs distracting?"
Man back there, he's wearing a dirty white shirt, black vest, kind of an ugly fucker.
He
Not
looks at
exactly
him,
a friend. Not exactly a friend of mine.
looks back at you.
But I'm in the need of some friends right now that might be able to help me out of a little bit of a bind.
What kind of distracting are you looking for, my good man?
Well, me and my associate here need to get by him with.
You misunderstand the question. Are you looking for distracting or distracting?
I need distracting.
He growls low. His voice gets lower. Oh, I can do distracting. And he's going to start marching towards that man. And as he marches towards him, he pretends to trip, bumps into him, and then a argument ensues, where he's like, "You bumped into me, it's your fault," and then an altercation happens, and you have your distraction.
Yeah, and we're just, it is time to go right now.
Absolutely fantastic. And as you guys run away from that situation, Cutthroat Grok was able to convince several people to join. And at the end of this session, we're actually going to roll probably a couple D10 to see how many crew members you're able to bring on for the taking of the Dominator. And for every good scene you have, we'll be adding an extra D10. So that's 1 good scene. 2 good scenes, maybe 3 good scenes for setting up a booth, because that's fucking hilarious, and I love that journey for you. That's wonderful. But I'd like to go over to Harlan. Harlan, you had mentioned you had something that you wanted your character to do. So I'd like you to fill us in explicit detail. No, I'm just kidding. Just fill us in. Fill us in on what Harlan is up to.
Oh my! No, this is the first thing. The first thing Harlan's going to do is take the. He's got the captain's list. He's read the list. He's like, well, here's some alchemy supplies that I need to get brewing. Here's a couple items that I might be able to procure. So first thing he's going to do is go to find an alchemist. Find the least shady one he can find, which is we're in Quint, so whatever. But he's just going to go and be like, I need these. I'll pay the normal price. No questions asked, and a bonus for your speed.
You are able to quickly get all of the supplies you need. One of the things that talks better than even talking in Quint is gold. Gold, silver, platinum, money. Money talks. Gets things done. That's what's ebbs and flows like any society. Money gets shit done, right?
Yep.
You were able to get that supplies with very little problem.
And after he gets pretty much all the supplies secured, he's going to go and, unlike Edward, he doesn't have any company on board the ship. So he's going to go with much gold in pocket to find the highest class procurement of female companionship that he can find.
Excellent.
Uh,
Excellent. Yes. It's called
you
the
know,
Velvet Touch.
Velvet touch, like, a bath afterwards, oil the beard, like the
Oh,
whole,
it's
the
a whole
works.
it's a whole thing. Yeah.
It's a
like,
whole thing.
You get, like a fresh cut and a shave.
Yeah,
A
trim up the
nasty,
beard,
and
get
then
it all
like a
looking
bath
good.
afterwards. It's very nice. It's high
Yeah,
class.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. Beautiful.
yeah.
Harlan gets the works. Absolutely gets the works. However, Harlan, as you are post-coitus, as the second time I've said that this session, which is funny, as you are
That's a record.
post-coitus, all right, you are kind of like soaking in the tub. Your lady that you had hired for the evening has departed just for a moment, and the walls of this particular establishment are a little bit thinner than maybe most places. You can hear a little bit of conversations that are going on. It almost seems intentional. So maybe like what's a great place to get information? A brothel. The ladies and the men that work there, they hear a bunch of stuff. It is what it is. So as you are just lounging, soaking, smells great. Get some incense burning, the whole king and boodle. Give me a perception check, please.
Perception check. Not great, not terrible.
All right, that is a 14. You hear some mumbling. Hear some like. You can make out a couple of words here and there. But I'm gonna have to make one more perception check because you got the DC 10 to just notice it. You need a little bit of a higher one. I'm gonna give you one more chance to see if you can hear this, like exactly what's being discussed. 18. DC
18.
15 was to hear what was being discussed.
Okay.
Perfect. 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 So you hear a voice, and what really perked your ears up, perked your attention in this moment, well, it was the tone of that voice. In fact, it was the voice itself. You recognize Ranibus Harrigan's voice. And he is literally in the room to your left, likely soaking in a similar tub, sort of just taking in the evening. And he's talking with someone. And the voice of whom he's talking with does not ring a bell. But the name that he mentions does ring a bell. He says, Tessa, as you know, my plans go deeper than plunder, booty, or a fleet. My plans aim at a position higher than all. Now, as I discussed, if I am to secure the Hurricane Crown, you would have a very important place at my side. I can understand your trepidation. I can understand your loyalty to the Hurricane King. But I will not become fat and lazy as he has. I will maintain my hunger for plunder. At the end of the day, is that not what you, as a pirate lord, desire most? To take everything, give nothing back? There is a somewhat cocky laugh. I will consider your offer, Harrigan. I do agree that the current king has become complacent. But I need you to prove yourself. Harrigan scoffs. Prove myself? I have proven myself. You have proven only that you lost a ship, lost half your crew, and cannot maintain loyalty amongst any of your men save a few. Is that truly the king that I would wish to follow? I think not. But I will give you a chance to prove yourself. As you know, the annual regatta put on by the Hurricane King himself is fast approaching. Should you choose to enter your ship, and should you win, then I will consider your generous offer. Harrigan growls low, and Tessa Fairwind laughs at him. That anger will only get you so far, Harrigan. But I have places to be, and you've already taken too much of my time. Tessa, wait! Ta-ta for now. You hear the door open, then slam shut. A few moments later, you hear Harrigan go, "Fucking bitch!" And your lady returns, hands you a towel. Your time is up. You're able to leave. Give me a knowledge. Give me actually a profession sailor check. I want to see if you know something about this.
21.
So what she was referencing is a very, very cool thing called the Free Captain's Regatta. It is an annual race, is organized by the Free Captains of the Shackles. The course changes each year, but is always a dangerous route among the various reefs and sandbars on the edge of the Eye of Abednego. Many ships fail to survive the course, but there are always a large number of entrants each year. Entrants must be a captain of their own ship, and there is entrance fee of 500 gold pieces. The winner receives the total of all entrance fees and the grant of a small island or anchorage in the Shackles, and, more importantly, a seat on the Pirates' Council. Seat on the Pirates' Council. And I think we may have just lost Zeb, which is unfortunate. Did we lose Zeb? We lost Zeb. That's okay. We're going to press on for a moment. We're going to wait and see if he comes back. Are you texting him right now?
You mean Patrick? Zeb's there.
Oh, Zeb's there? Oh, we lost
Yeah,
Patrick?
I'm here.
Oh. Weird. I thought we lost Zeb.
No, I'm here.
Oh dear. What happened to Patrick? Was it a storm for him?
I don't know if Texas is getting slammed right now, are they?
Yeah. I went to go double check tornado warnings real quick. I haven't gotten any yet.
You back?
Hey.
You back?
Yep.
All right, let me leave here real quick. God, you love tech issues.
Yeah.
I love streaming so much. I love that everything falls apart and like there's always a problem. It's so much fun. All right, what had happened here? We got to switch some people around. He's got to go here, and we're good. All right, perfect. You good, man? Everything all right?
I just lost row 20, and then I lost Zoom, then I lost Discord.
Ooh.
All right. All right, where did we leave off? Harlan, you have some information that you may wish to share with the captain. I'd like to give you a moment to go find either the captain or some of the other crew.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know, I assume after a certain amount of time, I mean, everybody's going to regroup with the ship, but, did Caius tell us exactly where he's going to go off? I know we all split up to go do something else, but is he targeting a specific area?
We probably would have discussed where we're going specifically, but in character we didn't say anything, no.
Okay. Then, yeah, he'll try and go and find the captain. With this fantastic information.
Captain, you have set up shop inside one of the many taverns that exist inside of Quint. And I want you to tell me, Caius, how is it going for you? Like, are a lot of crew members, like a lot of pirates signing up? Are you struggling? I want you to take a little creative license here and tell me how is it going for your recruitment right now?
I'd say it's bustling pretty well because he's offering a sign-on bonus, which is uncommon for a pirate crew, as well as the standard, cut of the loot and And the crew's also been talking it up quite a bit, given that they just came into town with an asinine amount of gold.
That's true. They're doing a great job of kind of getting things going. I like that.
So I assume
like
a
that.
lot of factors are working for us. And you know, every so often, you know, when a party comes into the bar, everything, Caius will stand up and say, you know, for gold, plunder, and freedom, come sign on with the devil's deed. You know, something along those lines.
I like that. I like that. So things are going well. Things are going very well. We lost Harlan, which is awkward because he was supposed to be in this scene. So
Oh,
what
no.
I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a potential member of the crew approach.
Oh, come on.
And no, I won't. I'm not. You
No,
can't. You can't tell me.
My camera's acting up.
It's fine, man. We're having fun. I'm having a
Shit.
good time. It's all good, man. So we're gonna watch as a potential member of the crew approaches, and it is it's a younger looking lad, actually, maybe no older than 17, maybe just turned 18, and he's got a little pirate bandana on, and he's got a somewhat rusty looking cutlass on his hip, and he approaches, and he's tries to put on his deepest "I'm a tough sailor" voice, but his voice, well, it breaks. Sounds a little something like, "I understand you're looking for some I understand you're looking for some crew. I'd like to sign up."
Well, we need the men now, no matter what your voice sounds like. What kind of qualifications do you have?
I can sail a ship.
Go ahead and sense motive that.
He's lying.
Can you now?
He's lying. I mean, you don't even have to roll, but that's a nat 20.
Yeah.
He's lying.
Yeah. All right. And what have you done outside of your dreams?
I've worked the docks, sir, and
I'm familiar with ship operation.
I've never actually left Gwent. I was born here, sir. But I'd like to. And 10 gold sign-on bonus, that's something, sir.
Months of work.
He sounds to me like those kids that tried to join the Navy after Pearl Harbor. They were like too young but made it in anyway. That's what I'm getting flashbacks to.
It's actually Captain America before he gets the serum.
It's Captain America. I mean, you're not wrong.
I can do this all day.
Sorry.
Report down to the devil's deed. I'll give you a gold for the day. The deck officer will see what you can actually do. If you're worth signing on, he'll take you.
Boom. There he is. There's the young whippersnapper. Look at him.
But is this one going to
Man.
attach himself to Edward, or is he going to attach himself to Caius, which is going to be...
Or maybe
God.
neither. Maybe he just wants to make something of himself.
maybe.
I was almost scared it was going to be Jack Scrimshaw.
That'd be really funny.
What a twist.
What a twist.
That's hilarious, actually. I wish it was. That's a missed opportunity on my part. But we are going to name him
I'm Jack. Fuck you.
Alex. Alex, no surname. His name is just Alex.
He used to earn the
Alex
surname.
McKinless?
Yeah, to be fair, Caius is just Caius.
The kid survives the battle. We'll give him a last name.
Wow. Well, hopefully he does. That's good. You now have Alex as a potential member of the crew, which is fantastic. And Harlan, you see that Caius has just signed on, but things probably aren't going very well for him because he's literally just signed on basically a kid. So he's just taking what he can get. No, it's going very well.
To be
Caius.
fair, he didn't say it was taken.
Oh, it's true. It's true. He didn't say he was taking him. He just said he was considering it, as it were.
He said
I like
you
that.
can go to the ship with a deck officer like these.
He pushed him off onto somebody else, made him someone else's problem for the price of a gold piece. That's a good Caius deal. Just fuck off. I don't want to deal with you right now.
Yeah. Don't make my table look bad. Get out of here.
Well, it sounds like that kid would just keep trying anyway. Like he's gonna
Oh
show
my
up in
God.
20 minutes with like a fucking glasses.
Sam Jones?
Yeah, so just
Got a different shirt on.
Different shirt, an eye patch, then not an eye patch.
just shoves clothes under his sleeves so he looks a little bit more muscular. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
All right.
funny.
Yeah, so Harlan tracks down Caius. Easy to find with the big table and the poster board.
and you find him. Boom. Take it away, gentlemen.
Yeah, so
Harlan?
Harlan shows up looking fresher than you ever seen him because he hasn't been shanghaied. You can assume what happened. Anyway,
Unshanghaied.
he has been unshanghaied. He's looking fresh, nice and beard trimmed up, no more flyers. His beard, the beads he has in his beard are all polished up and look nice. Whatever. Anyway,
Couple new ones.
yeah, a couple new ones.
Nice.
At the ladies, the ladies like, oh, I have a couple. You got like, fuck it, let's do it. So he shows up and kind of grabs Caius by the shoulder. It's like, Captain, I have learned something that you want to know. And he like looks at a line of people at the thing. Right now.
Wakir can continue to bring people in.
Okay, if Wakir's there, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he pulls Caius aside to a quieter corner, whatever.
Yeah.
And starts to relay the information he learned about over here.
Less surrounded.
Yeah, you less around it. He was doing his manly thing, and then overheard. It's like, Harrigan is here. He was in the room next to me, matter of fact, and I heard him going on with the proprietor of the establishment, Tessa. What was the name of the place again? It was the
The Velvet Touch.
The Velvet Touch. The Velvet Touch. Nice place. 10 out of 10. Do recommend if that's your thing. Anyway, talking about wanting to acquire the Hurricane Crown and how he's effectively sick of the current Pirate King and so forth. And then Tessa mentioned something about the Hurricane Regatta, a race among ships. And whoever wins gets a seat on the council. And an anchorage, but the seat on the council seemed to be the better part of that deal. It kind of just
race
hits
is interesting, but Harrigan here
within 10 feet of me, I dare say.
kind of massages his temples, and that's just what we needed to be pursued out of port on our biggest mission.
Well, he was the only one of his crew that I saw or heard. So I don't know, but if he's here, safe to assume that others are here too. So keep your eyes peeled.
A cloaked cutthroat Grok and a somewhat out of breath Edward also burst into this particular establishment. And now you can fill them in on what you discovered.
Edward is going to immediately see those two talking. He's going to motion Grok, being as she's the quartermaster and she's kind of wanting to step up. He's going to go, let the captain know. I'll watch the door. He just kind of gives her that wink of like, partner.
Partner.
And you notice Edward is very much on edge. Kind of hand on cutlass. He just kind of grabs just a bottle that was there and is slowly kind of pouring himself a drink, watching through the windows, looking for Kipper or any of the crew that could have followed. It doesn't feel like he got followed. I mean, he gave enough gold that he got a good distraction. He made a friend. But yeah, so he would send Cutthroat Grok to go do that while he watches everyone's back. It's kind of his job.
Mm-hmm.
What went wrong over there? You're looking to Cutthroat and seeing, the hooded Cutthroat and the out of breath Edward.
Oh, you want Cutthroat Grok to tell him what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah. I put.
I'm
watching the door.
I
'cause-
misunderstood.
Yeah, like I
Forgive
said,
me.
she's
That's-
kind of wanting to
that's
step
on
up from
me.
my position. So
So she will lean
Edward
in.
just
Captain, we saw members of Harrigan's crew. One surly-looking man with white hair, if you recall. He is here. Harrigan is not far behind.
Oh, I ran into Harrigan. He's definitely here. I heard him. I didn't see him, but that's a distinct voice of an asshole if I've ever heard one.
Harrigan is not a man to let go of grudges easily. If he finds out we are here, he will make something of it. My suggestion is we lie low, let him leave, as it sounds like, based on what you've said, Harlan, that he won't be here long.
Well, it also sounded from the tone of the woman he was talking to that Harrigan is down on his luck. Everyone sees him not as a competent captain, but as a moron that lost his ship and half of his crew. So his pull sounds like it might be substantially less than it was before. But I'm making assumptions. That's just what I heard from a bathtub.
Well, then, Captain, perhaps now is the time to strike while he is weak.
I want to kick out of Quint. This is our only shot aside from Port Peril. I don't want to show our face there until we have to. Maybe a direct confrontation without planning on launching the first strike. I receive no issues from that captain. We mutinied against officers already rebelling against him.
I mean, there's a chance we could take out Harrigan and then it just make it look like it was something else. How many crews are there here? He looks, through a window. I assume you could just see a fleet of pirate vessels in harbor, or
If Harrigan
whatever.
doesn't like what we have to tell him, all he can do is strike.
Sounds like we outnumber him, or at least, we have the power. We have the advantage in this one, I think.
After kind of Edward feels a little bit like they weren't actually followed, he's gonna kind of come back into the circle and just pretty much look dead, like Kai's dead in the eye, and just be like, "I'll follow orders, but all I'm going to say is it could be good practice for the crew to get ready to take the Dominator if we slipped onto his ship in the middle of the night and slit their throats." But again, on your orders.
I think if we were to take out Harrigan, then what's the rest of his crew going to do? They're going to disperse and find someone else that'll make the money. I don't think Harrigan does not command as much loyalty as he thinks he does. His style is not very productive. He gestures to everyone in the, the 4 of us, 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion. I think cut the head off the snake and make it look like something else. There's enough people here, there's enough accidents, there's enough fighting and backstabbing shenaniganry going on.
Walk here.
I'd say he needs to die quietly.
It's just one less thorn in our side, Captain. That's all I'm saying. We don't have to watch our backs as much.
Possibly also with Harrigan dead, maybe that bounty gets lifted. Nobody to pay it.
This is
He's
also
planning on
true.
paying it to begin with.
Oh God, that bastard wouldn't pay it to begin with, but
It might be worth, and this is possible, going back and seeing if we can get any information, any other information from the people he visits. She didn't sound completely on his side.
Rock,
Aye.
if we were to take Harrigan, of what was left when he would be truly loyal to him, do you think that if push came to shove, they would stand with him?
Grok thinks about this. She genuinely gives this some thought. And it almost seems like she's mouthing the names of the different crews members. And she goes over one, over another. She's really thinking about this. Really, really thinking about it. And finally she says, "It may not be what you want to hear, Captain. Despite his flaws, from those he truly respects, his innermost circle, he gives them everything, and they give everything to him. Even if we kill Harrigan, those that remained will, like him, not let go of grudges quickly."
Aye.
If we kill him, we must kill them all.
Fair
Say
enough.
we invite him, his officers, to a meeting. See if we can talk it out, and if it comes to blows, it'll only be the officers.
Well, you know, he's going to bring a couple too. So, like you said,
Oh, of
officers.
course.
I'm just concerned about who he's going to bring. He had some ringers on his side, that's for true.
True.
You want the position, Grok? What do you think?
Say we have an opportunity here and now to tie up a loose end that should not remain open. Or I would say unknotted. She would have said unknotted. There it is. That's better. Tie up a loose end that should not remain unknotted. Ah, there it is.
Is that something you could be comfortable with?
I would not have signed on with all of you, and I would not continue to be here with you. I have had plenty of opportunities when we made port to leave. Believe in Captain Gaius. Believe in each and every member of our crew. We have the makings of something infamous.
You heard our sister here, lads. Let's go shit kicking.
And as we montage the crew of the Devil's Deed, pulling themselves together, getting ready, getting information, finding out where the wormwood is. And as a scene like right out of Gangs of New York, but it's pirate crews of Quint, we see you guys marching down the street, just looking badass as can be. And as we arrive, we see all of you standing on the edge of a dock. The camera zooms out, and the dock is empty. Because in the time that it took you guys to get all the crew together, apparently the wormwood left. Blue balls.
Excellent.
So the wormwood unfortunately has left, and you do not see it on the horizon. And yes, you may flick me off, Wakir. You absolutely may flick me off. 100%, my friend.
Oh.
100%. 100.
Spinning off into where it would have been. Edward is kind of, well, now we could take care of business without running into any problems. But Harlan, Captain, here, what are your thoughts of us maybe having a word with that Tess lass?
It's worth a shot.
The enemy of my enemy and all that.
Well, she sounded like she might be in league with him, but she also didn't. She was managed to, for the first time I had seen, put him in his place. So she might have some power and influence behind her. So let's advance with caution, shall we say.
Right? Fine by me. Don't even have to talk to her if that's what we want to do. Just trying to keep everything on the table.
What are we looking to gain if we do talk to her?
Any other information he might have given her? Gold is a hell of a motivator, especially for a purveyor of a fine establishment with female companionship. Harrigan's gone. It's not like she can tell him that we came asking, but it might be worth a shot. What she's going to do is tell us to fuck off.
Fair enough.
Also,
See if
possibly,
we can get an audience.
she might be able to get us some people. Who knows?
She could spread the word.
All that talk of us needing to make some friends. She's got Harrigan by the balls. We'll at least have a drink with her.
That's fair.
All right.
Fair. So how does the crew of the Devil's Deed go about seeking an audience with Tessa Fairwind, the ruler of this place?
Probably.
Caius would.
Or,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, probably going back in and just requesting it. Harlan thinks she's a very to the point type of woman. So
All business.
Yeah, exactly. Business. Maybe that's just the best.
She's kind of quote unquote running Quint. I mean,
She's not
Yeah.
quote unquote. She is. It is
She
hers.
is.
It is her
she
port.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I mean, then she's
Ain't
not
got time for
exactly going to
bullshit.
be.
She is one of the few members of the Pirate Council. So there's not that many of them. And she's one of the more well-respected members of the Pirate Council. So you know what? As you guys get to kind of like the big mansion, the manor that exists on the island. It's Tessa Fairwind's manor. You guys are walking up in an attempt to request an audience. One of the guards, a dwarven man, I want you to imagine like a dwarf with like a bunch of piratey beards similar to Harlan, but he's wearing a butler's outfit. Okay? And it's very comical, is the best way I can put it. He sees you approaching, and as he does so, calls out Captain Caius by name. Hey, lad, are you Captain Caius?
That's not good.
Yeah, Caius kind of straightens up a little bit, says, "That would be me." Ugh, he didn't say that. That would be me.
All right, lad. I've got to give you my thanks. You've saved me a whole afternoon of trying to find you.
What are you looking for me for?
Oh, me matron, me pirate queen, that is to say, Tessa Fairwind, wanted to request an audience with you. That is to say, she's inviting you to have an audience with her.
Our paths collide. I was here to do the same.
Ah, brilliant. Almost as though Bismara has blessed this meeting. Ah, very good then. Why don't you and your, pirate companies here follow me inside? There's a dinner.
Be delighted. He ruffles his fancy pirate coat. He's wearing his fancy pirate clothes today.
I like it. As you enter inside, you walk inside to a very well appointed, like, Caius, this feels straight out of some of the nice manors you've seen in. Where are you from again?
Eliax?
That's what I said. Cheliax. You from Cheliax, like some of the more wealthy locations. And everything is well appointed, clean. There's some nice artwork hung up. And as you are led by the Dwarven butler into the grand dining hall, you see that there are several arrangements set up, several different seats and nice silverware. It's got they've got like the different courses of like silverware and it go from the out in. They got little it's nice. It's just really, really nice. And sitting at the head of the table is the red-haired Tessa Fairwind, who looks I don't know what it is about Pathfinder games, but all the women have red hair that are important. So just it's red-haired girl. Again, another one. But she is sitting there. And she actually stands up and she takes off her hat, sets it on the table. Captain Caius, I presume.
Yeah, Caius will remove his own hat, give a sweeping bow, and step up to the right hand, seat at the right hand of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Say, indeed, Tess Fairwind?
I am indeed. I expected you to take a bit longer to get here, but it is good to see that you respond with a sense of urgency. I find that any who wish to be a free captain should do just that. Please, your crew, yourself, have a seat. Might I offer you wine?
And I imagine we sat down in order of rank. Just
Yep. And then on the other side, you see a bunch of other characters, likely her crew, that are sitting down. Yeah, and they're all very friendly, like very, very friendly. Not uncomfortably or awkwardly friendly. It's just like it's a safe place. We're not trying to kill each other. We're all pirates here.
No business on continental grounds.
Yeah, no business on continental grounds kind of thing. Exactly, Harlan. That's perfect. So everyone's just in a really good mood. Sits down, different wait staff comes out, they serve wine, there's like bread, there's like a first course, and it's mostly just talking about some of your adventures. She asks about what you did. She's heard tell of your crew and all the money they've been spending inside of her city. She asks about Mancatcher Cove, the taking of what happened, and she starts to press you about how you acquired the Devil's Deed. How much do you admit? Do you lie? Or are you just completely forthright and honest?
Guy's completely forthright.
Yeah.
He didn't. He made no oath. He signed no contract to Harrigan. He owes him nothing.
Taken.
Okay.
Said, he essentially tell the story as it happened.
Mhm.
Harrigan took the ship, sent us out with a skeleton crew. The officers became less than conducive to a good working relationship. And as a crew, we decided to eliminate them.
You did what any good crew would do when they were led by someone who is ill-suited to the role. Have you ever considered, Captain Caius? Have you ever considered the possibility of becoming a free captain? Truly authorized captain of the Shackles?
I was about to make my play for that position in the coming weeks.
Then if you were to make that play for that position, you know that to do so you must be sponsored by a member of the Pirate Council, do you not?
Aye.
Yes.
You can see the gears turning.
Who,
Very obvious where she's
real
going.
quick.
Go ahead,
Who
Edward.
was who's the other free captain that we visited at
Squibs.
Squibs?
Justice Smithy? Oh, no.
that
here
got
somewhere.
along really well with Caius?
Yeah, he didn't like Harrigan at all, I think.
Yeah.
And they both kind of come from military backgrounds.
Yup.
and-
Yeah, I
Yup.
can't
what
remember
was his
name.
name?
I'm going to let you guys think about it. I mean, I could tell you, but I'm going to let you guys think about it. Because I'm also looking it up because I forgot. I'll be honest.
Burial Kegsworthy.
Kegsworthy. Is that him?
Kegsworthy.
Kegsworthy.
Yeah,
Pegsworthy. Pegsworthy, because he's got a peg leg.
Oh, was it Pegsworthy? It was Kegsworthy.
Yeah,
Peg.
Pegsworthy.
I thought it was Kegsworthy as well, Blah. So don't.
Hold on,
don't
I'm
come
looking.
back.
Pegsworthy. Pegsworthy. P-E-G-S worthy. Yep, Captain Merrill Pegsworthy. So he is a free captain, but he is not a member of the Pirate Council. Right? He's not a member of the Pirate
But
Council.
I remember we had a talk about
Yeah.
sponsorship from him.
Yeah. He'd be willing to put in a good word for you. He could sponsor you, only so far. But to have a sponsorship of like an actual member of the Pirate Council, that's a step up. So if you have his sponsorship and you've got her sponsorship to be like, these guys are cool, that's probably a shoo-in. That's probably a shoo-in.
And the weight Augusta puts behind me as well.
Correct. I'm going to be very candid with you, Captain Caius. Harrigan approached me, asking for my loyalty in moving against the existing Hurricane King. I entertained his offer. For as I'm sure you're aware, we as pirates are always jockeying for power. But candidly speaking, I am content in what I have already plundered. You see that I run, owned, and operate the second largest port in the Shackles. There are few, perhaps none, that would move against me. To rock that proverbial boat is ill-suited to the course of which I desire to see my life sail. There is something about you, Captain Caius. Something that intrigues me. I have heard rumors. Some of your crew have bigger mouths than they likely should. But you're going after a prize the likes of which none of the current free captains have ever dared. Is there truth to this, Captain Caius?
Great deal of truth to that. What I sought to keep secret was my methods and my approach, but I'm sure that will leak as well if I tell the crew.
I'm going to offer you something, Captain Caius. And should you reject it, I will hold no ill will. I will allow you to leave here unimpeded. Should you succeed in your foolish, insane, and suicidal quest, take the Dominator. Though at this point and that point you may not need it, I will give you my full support in your candidacy for free captain. Under one condition.
Oh?
What I'm going to share with you, and the joking and the laughing and the conversation that's been going on between the two, groups of officers suddenly dies down as Tessa sets like a glass down and there's a clang. It almost seems like it's a signal. And all of them settle down and she leans in. There is a network, I believe, spies that are working against the pirates of both the Council and the Shackles as a whole. I do not know precisely whom these spies are working for, but I have my theories. I believe they are insects from Cheliax. Now, knowing that you are yourself a worshipper of Asmodeus and have some ties to Cheliax, I think you would be a prime candidate to help root out this network of ne'er-do-gooders that is looking to see discontent amongst the pirates of the Shackles. Should you succeed in your quest to take the Dominator, once you are a free captain, you will work directly under me and my fleet for a time. Once we discover the organization, and once we dismantle it, I will also sponsor you in the Free Captain's Regatta. Should you win that, not only will you be a free captain, but you and I will be equals on the Pirate Council. This is my offer. What say you?
Need I make the decision without consulting my officers?
She motions to your officers. Consult.
He'll turn and speak openly, in front of her,
Yeah.
assuming that wherever he would go would be listened to anyways. Says, sounds like the easy track and then the fast track to me.
Well,
But
we still have one hell of a mountain to cross, but I see no downside in it, Captain. Having the support of a council member, a very powerful one at that, it's exactly what we're looking for. Then the price is agreeable.
You'd preach that we needed friends, big friends. And she did give us a lovely dinner, Captain.
It was a good
it
dinner.
has been marvelous.
And Development Touch is excellent. I highly recommend it to.
Oh, it's one of our most popular brothels in town.
It was fantastic. I appreciated the experience. I'll probably go back before we leave.
Excellent, excellent.
Smells of patchouli. Oh,
Make sure you get
Caius
there.
will-
Make sure you get that frequent flyers.
Get the stamp card.
Yeah.
Get the stick. The little punch card. It's called
Yes.
shit. What
Your
did I-
fifth prostitute free.
Oh boy.
I hate it.
Caius
hate
would
it.
turn back to Tessa and say, Well, it seems the crew's in agreement. All I ask is that the rank and file of the crew are seen to under your, while we're working under you. If we won't be free to pursue prizes, I need them kept happy.
You'll be free to do as you see fit, as long as you help me dismantle this network of ne'er-do-gooders. The improper type of ne'er-do-gooders. We all pirates, after all. And she laughs, and all the other crew laughs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming everybody laughs. Like, So, we come to a moment where the next couple of weeks go by. You're able to gather up a hefty number of extra crew. I'm going to have you guys roll. Go ahead, Edward.
I would like Edward and Hyas to try to meet with Tessa before we leave, and pretty much under the impression of, hey, we're trying to take out these Chilaxian spies and stuff. Is there any information at all you can give on the Dominator? Whether location, crew manifests?
The Dominator does not do anything to hide. It is the largest and most dangerous ship in the Shackles and in the Fevered Sea itself. If you go looking for it, you will find it. That's the problem.
I would ask her if she would
40 crew. Extra
or
crew.
I would bring it
40.
up to the captain at some point to ask her about if she sees any use for was it Tidewater Rock that she could take advantage of.
She
As an outpost, maybe like
doesn't
like,
really
do
need
something
it.
with
Like, most of what she does is more middle of the Shackles, north side of the Shackles. She encourages you to build it up as you see fit and use it as a stronghold for yourself, a safe place to stop, make repairs, etc. He has no need of it. Anything else, gentlemen?
Oh, sounds like a deal to me.
Caius would ask if she could possibly put the word out for a couple more men, like specifically recruiting on her name for this expedition that's upcoming.
She declines. She's
Understood.
not willing to sponsor you openly yet until you have proven yourself. Needless to say, the conversation you had and the deal she's offered you goes no further, and if you were to say it in public, she would vehemently deny it and send her men after you.
Of course.
Yeah. We're worthless until we prove our worth.
You're worthless until you're not.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Yeah.
All right. So now we go to the fun part of this session, where, Caius, you're going to explain to us, along with the rest of the crew, what the battle plan is. All right, what the battle plan is for going after the Dominator. And I'm actually gonna cut to a little map here so you guys can see the difference in size of your ship compared to the Dominator. All right, so I'm gonna get you a really nice side-by-side comparison. It's about double, triple as big as yours. It's pretty big, right? It's got like 7 decks. You have like 3. It's double as big as yours, right? So let me just kind of boop you guys over here, and let me zoom out real far because hot damn. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna move back over so the kids at home can see it. That's the Dominator. All right, it is literally twice as big as your ship. It's big, it's beefy. It has lots of crew. Lots of crew. It is also armed with several large-sized Bismarin boomsticks.
It's there.
Something to take note of. They're very rare. I know we talked about not having them, but they're very rare. But they've got several of them on board. Mostly ballista, mostly some catapults. But it's a nasty big ship. So, talk to me, Captain Caius. What's the battle plan here?
All right. So the plan begins. We're going to head back to where we encountered the Dominator in the cove the first time under the heavy storm.
Excellent.
And we are going to look around using locate object to find a piece of the Dominator
Go on.
that may have fallen overboard. Just a peg that goes in the railing that takes ropes, a length of rope that got blown overboard with it, or cut trimming sail, whatever. Doesn't matter. We are going to then use that piece of the ship to track the Dominator with the spell of the same name.
Okay.
We are going to use Nasara and her ability to go invisible and teleport at will, and now detect thoughts as a Mnemor to find out where the ship is going to stop next.
Mm-hmm.
We are then going to approach using coordinated silent image spells from 3 of our casters, Conchabar, Rosie, and Nasara, which is a level 1 spell slot, and with the 3 of them together is enough area to mask the entire ship under a silent image. Once we get close, Walkira is going to cast Water Walk, and 20 crewmen, as well as Sandra and Rosie, are going to go over the side with visibility to get into the sleeping quarters of the Dominator and begin slitting throats.
And eventually, all hell will break loose.
And eventually, once they are detected, an alarm is raised, or they signal back that, the entire sleeping area is dead, the upper deck assault will begin. The illusion will drop. The entire crew will, buff will begin. The entire crew will begin throwing their fireball beads at the other ship, sweeping the entire top deck with fireballs. The first wave of boarding is going to be Edward, Caius, and Mr. Hawthorne, all under enlarged person, haste, stone skin, and protection from law potions.
Don't forget the bull streak.
Oh, and bull strength, yes. As well as having resist energy fire on themselves. At which point, any remaining resistance on the deck will likely coalesce around the boarding party, and the remaining 10 fireball beads from the crew will be thrown at that coalesced resistance, which is us under the resist energy. So we will be unharmed, the rest of the resistance on the top deck will be blown to bits, and then we push downwards. After that, it becomes a deck-by-deck fight.
Like it. Our final scene of today's session is going to be a montage. We'll do it with a montage if we want. And we're going to do it with a montage. You guys travel to where you fought the Dominator. You do indeed find some planks. You use it. You track. Nerissa returns, stating that she actually found someone that will take the amulet off your hands. We'll deal with that next session.
Mm-hmm.
But our final scene. It's the Dominator tucked into a deep but protective cove. Lights of lanterns on the deck. 2 dozen men keeping watch. And the Devil's Deed lurking just outside of the cove. Like a hungry carnivore stalking its prey. The next session is going to be like that beachhead. This time, it's a boat deck. And I've told the crew, Devil's Deed, players of Skull and Shackles, that I will be holding back nothing. Nothing. So, it's going to be crazy. I have a lot of work to do between now and next week. But I'm actually really excited we did this because it allowed me to foreshadow a bunch of Chapter 3. And I'm glad you picked Quent because it's a very important part of Chapter 3. That's
Nice.
a fair win is a big part of chapter 3, so it just worked out. It was very organic and worked out naturally, and it was like super fun. So just good job, Caius. And I just want to say great job, everybody. I had a lot of fun today. I know it was just all RP, but I genuinely enjoyed it. And as I always
good time.
say at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we get ready to wrap up?
Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's
All
go,
right.
mate.
Well,
Let's
as I
make
always
her happy,
say
Cap.
at the end of every session, thank you so much to players for playing. You guys have been an absolute delight. I'm so excited to see where this goes. We're a little bit off the rails at this point, but I'm loving it. Thank you to the viewers for viewing. Appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the show with us. Happy gaming, everybody. You'll catch us next time on Darewolf Den Gaming for session 18. Skull and Shackles, our Pathfinder 1st Edition actual play. This is chapter 2.5, The Taking of the Dominator. Super excited about it. And should this succeed, woo! Things gonna get spicy, and I'm excited.
Otherwise, we got to figure out what we're going to play next.
So we gotta figure out what we're gonna play next. Should it
Yeah.
not succeed, we'll figure out what we're playing next.
We will all have a free Sunday.
We'll have a free Sunday maybe. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, be well, be safe, happy gaming, and as always, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.